Welcome back to Tokyo Ghoul Anime Review, Episode 5. Yeah, I'm continuing there from the part series. Now, this one I specifically saved to do for the pilot episode of the Tokyo Ghoul Re-Anime. I'm going to talk about that, plus the newest chapter for Tokyo Ghoul Re-Anime, manga, excuse me. So, yeah, just like with One Piece, and occasionally with Boruto, I'm going to review both the episode and the manga of the same series. Okay, fine. Let's start off with the pilot episode of Tokyo Ghoul Re, Those Who Hunt Start. Now, I heard prior to the release of this episode was going to be adapting the first 6 chapters. I gotta say, for adapting the first 6 chapters, the thing does it pretty well. We get to see Kaneki in his new role, where he's a character. Yeah, Kaneki is the only one actually you recognize here. He's his alias in this particular series is Hoshi Sasuke. Yeah, that is literally the guy's name. That is literally his name. He still has the white hair, because I know it's him. And I get to look at him that it's Kaneki, because the hair is pretty much the same, even though he's got pretty much the same type of personality he did as Kaneki, but he's not as bloodthirsty as it once was. Now, the Tokyo Ghoul Re series took place just a few short years after the end of Tokyo Ghoul. Now, as far as I can tell, the only character from the previous series, aside from Kaneki who appeared in this episode, is actually one other character, because everyone else is brand spanking new. And this one is, let's see, it is, no, yeah, I think it's this, no, it's not that one. Yeah, Akira Mondo. Yeah, she appears in this episode for roughly just a couple scenes, and that's really it. The first time you see her is that she's in a meeting with Kaneki. I'm not going to call it by his alias, it's just Kaneki, talking about the events of what happened prior to this, and they're just there, and of course she's been promoted to senior investigator. I think in the series she was a first class investigator, and she was a junior partner to, Ankamon, which basically she had feelings for anyways, though they later become a couple in the manga anyways. He is not mentioned in the series. Now, as for what happened to Tokyo Ghoul Route A, which I think a lot of people really just want to ignore, though it does adapt certain stuff that happened in the manga. The only main change they made is Kaneki joining Agiri Tree. And speaking of Agiri Tree, it's referenced once in the whole episode about Agiri Tree. Now, as for what happened with the rest of the characters, you don't find that out in this episode. Nope. It's just basically setting up the new status quo for the series, while bringing in Kaneki, where he's now if I can find the name for it, he is now a Quanix, basically an artificial ghoul who was turned into a human. An artificial ghoul. That's basically what he is. It's a human turned into a ghoul. And they introduced 3 new characters in the opening episode. You have Kaneki. Yeah, he starts out 2nd grade in the series, and he works with a guy who's got razor sharp teeth, which I tried to look it up to see if this was the same voice actor, even though it sounds very similar to him. The other guy is 3rd grade investigator Gashi Sakurushi, I think it's pronounced the guy's name. Yeah. He basically drives a motorcycle, and, well, he does have a Kaneki, but apparently it's like a tail, and it shoots out missiles. Yeah, it shoots out missiles. The other one is a woman who's kind of like Kaneki in part in the original series, but she wears an eye patch. It's Toru Magasi, who basically, you can tell by looking at her, it's a woman, even though she's posing as a guy. I don't really know why in the world that she decided to do that, but she did. We do get a brief scene with her talking to a doctor while giving blood, and apparently she's got the ghoul stuff in her, but she hasn't mastered a lot like the other 3 have. We first get a chance to see these guys. They're, well, the 2nd class investigator, the 2nd grade one, Yuri is sitting back of a taxi, just talking to. He's basically got his headset in, and he tells the taxi to pull over. And it turns out the taxi driver is actually a ghoul. Okay. Fights him, and then Sarisu shows up. Of course, see him briefly, tags along, and then Kaneki shows up to try to take down the ghoul, and of course they do. And of course that leads into the briefing, which you see briefly of the CGC headquarters. Yeah, you only see just one room and a hallway. It's kind of like you don't see what else. Oh yeah, there is one other character they do bring in the series, and I love the fact that they upgraded the prison system basically. Now they go back to the place that in Tokyo Ghoul Route A they actually had a major battle, and this was this major prison. And they talk to the priest who Achman basically has a past with, and apparently he wants to get information on the killer known as Torso. Yeah, that's what they're investigating this episode. Just investigating who this Torso person. They actually do find him. Apparently he's a taxi driver, though it's not the one that they caught in the beginning of the episode. Nope. Oh yeah, I should point out though, Kaneki is kind of like Jason, where he snaps his fingers before he goes into a fight. And also, he's kind of, well, has his hallucination with Rise. Well, you know, if you're watching the series and you see Rise, him hallucinating Rise the whole series, yeah, apparently Kaneki is hallucinating himself for some reason. Well, the way his appearance looked at the end of Season 1 for Tokyo Ghoul. Yep. I gotta say, for an opening episode, this was really good. I love the animation. I even love the inclusion of CGI in the show, which they didn't use it for the Kanekis. No, they didn't use it for that. They mainly used it for like camera shots, like the Tokyo Tower. You actually see that sort of in CGI. So they use it very sparingly in here, but this is probably by far the first episode's aired for this series in 3 years, because the last episode aired in March of 2015. Yeah, and the last episode aired for the dub aired this past October. So I gotta say, for an opening episode, this was really good. And it doesn't really change really much of anything from the info I know about these people, so good episode. Excuse me. Next up is the 167th chapter, for the Tokyo Ghoul re-manga, known as See-Through. The chapter opens up with a bunch of people being sliced and diced with the cross creature from the previous chapter. And Sazura. Yeah, he's here as well. Yeah, so some of the Quansi people basically do join the Black Goat. I kind of forgot these people's names because it's been a while, but looking at the anime reminds me of these people's names. Thank you for anime for reminding people's names. So they're witnessing these creatures and they start battling them, which these creatures are actually also ghouls. I don't think these people are the Ajuri Tree. No, because the Ajuri Tree doesn't dress like this. No, the Ajuri Tree wear cloaks. And they don't wear suits like these people do. Also, they wear masks. Yep. And we see a big brawl between them and of course, the giant black dragon, which lasts for several pages. And then somehow, yeah, then they're all ghouls. One says Quonks. And then there's a big explosion that happens by the Black Dragon. Of course, one guy says, "Get down." And then we cut finally to Kaneki, and I don't remember this woman's name. Yeah, we cut to them, and they're basically looking for the cure for this poison that's going around. And they're wearing gas masks. And they find this disgusting looking, I don't know, looks like a giant cushion thing. I'm not sure what it is. And they're looking for the cure thing, and they see like the creatures that they've been battling for the past like 20 chapters. Yeah, you see those creatures coming out, and that's kind of the chapter ends. So this was an interesting chapter to read, and I gotta say this one does feel like it's progressing this arc of this series forward. Okay, and I'm going to give this chapter a 9 out of 10. It great artwork, though. I got questions from for the anime. Why in the world is it that Sasuke has got the razor sharp teeth like the characters from the Naruto franchise, the Hidden Mist Village? Yeah, all the characters in that series have got hit that razor teeth. Of course, that's a trait for their village. This guy is a character looks like because Tokyo Ghoul is one of those series set in the real world, and as far as I know, there is no reason why he has razor sharp teeth. Yeah. Now, also, I got to point this out, though, this is one of a handful of series I've seen where it's set in the real world, not some made-up world. The only series, aside from this one, I've seen set in the real world is Bleach, Death Note, Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter, kind of, but it's revealed the whole world is basically a giant island, so I don't count that one. Let me think here. Fairy Tail is definitely not. Rashura Kenshin basically set in the real world. And Bushidoruken, that's definite. That was another anime I watched where it's set in the real world. So this is actually one of like 6 series where it's set in the real world. Yeah. Though I also got to point this out though. This is probably the second series I've watched where it's set generally in Tokyo and there's a lot of investigating, and that's pretty much the basis of what made the series so good is the fact that the dialogue is so interesting to listen to, especially reading the manga. Yeah. So pretty much from this point forward, I'm reviewing both the chapter whenever a new episode comes out and whenever a new a chapter of the manga comes out, I'll review them in the same video. I was doing before basically just review the chapters, but since the anime started up again, I'll just review it with the episode itself, just like I did with One Piece. Excuse me, though, with this next episode, it's going to be just the episode of the anime reviewing this time. Instead of basically just doing both the anime and the chapter of the manga. But in the case of Ghoul Re, yeah, you can definitely expect that every single week. So, unlike yesterday, I think it was 2 days ago, I uploaded 3 videos in a row of the previous 3 chapters. So, as of right now, I'm officially up to date with Tokyo Ghoul Re. With chapter 167 just came out, this means that it's exactly 33 chapters away from hitting chapter number 200, which I have a feeling it will hit this year. It probably won't hit it to probably later on this year. Probably won't until, this is just my personal theory, probably October, maybe November at best. I can look it up and probably give you an idea of when it comes out. But yeah, only 33 weeks, only 33 chapters to go, which is really good. Now, as for how long it'll take to get to this far, I don't know. It depends on how long the anime is going to be. Hopefully, it won't be 12 episodes again. Also, here's a really big hope. Hopefully, that the anime doesn't rush everything. As far as I could tell, this episode didn't feel like the story was rushed. It felt like a good paced story, and it looked like that possibly the story will maybe wrap up in the next episode, but not for the whole entire series, just this first arc. Though, next episode is called Fragments, and we finally get a chance to see the Re Cafe. Yeah, that makes its first appearance in this particular series, in this particular, season, say. Yeah. So, that will be technically the second episode of Tokyo Re. And, yeah. So, that's it for this particular video. Stay tuned next week for episode 6. We'll cover the second episode of Tokyo Ghoul Re Fragments and the 168th chapter of the manga. Okay? But until I see you in the next episode, bye.